This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's 5 o'clock on your Tuesday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. Here's what's making headlines on this May 19th.
We've got Memorial Day coming. People are going to want to be outside, and as some of the restrictions are going to be relaxed a little bit, people are going to want to visit some of their favorite restaurants.
Starting this Friday, Marion County restaurants will be allowed to open for outdoor dining. Working for you this morning, we're looking at the new proposal aimed at helping more restaurants provide outdoor seating. Plus, with the shortage of masks, hospitals are starting to get creative to protect staff. The new approach IU Health is taking to disinfect masks so they can be reused. And business owners on Mass Ave are coming together for a new social media campaign. How you can join in to show your support for these local businesses. But before we get to our top stories today, I want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana and get a check of our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by, and it looks like we have some more rain out there, Todd.
Yeah, you know, there is, Lauren. There's some rain out there. Yesterday at this time, there was some pretty heavy rainfall moving through, a few lightning strikes as well. We don't have that this morning. That's the good news. Just some light rain that's currently making its way, mainly just north of Indianapolis. But as you look off to the east from Dayton to Cincinnati, there's some heavier rainfall, and that's actually going to make its way westward into our area. Right now, we're dealing with some light showers here scattered through Carmel, Noblesville, Cicero, Morse Reservoir there, up into Anderson as well as Alexandria. But the trend will be for the rain to increase in coverage as the day goes on. So there's the rain in Ohio. And again, some of this will be moving into our area throughout the course of the day today as it all pinwheels around an area of low pressure. And you can see the main circulation here is still this counterclockwise flow as this area of low pressure just slowly makes its way off to the east. We're in the 50s right now. Temperatures, they don't really do a whole lot throughout the day. Today we'll get up to about 65 degrees again with those showers becoming a little more numerous as we get into the afternoon hours. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out on the roads. This is a live look at I-65 and US 52 up in the Lebanon area. This is an area you'll want to pay attention if you're driving on I-65 in the northbound lanes. I would get off, take US 52 northbound, and that is because I-65, as you get closer to State Road 47, we do have a semi overturned in that area. So to avoid that delay, take US 52 along I-65. You can reconnect pretty easily at State Road 28. You'll just head westbound to do that. We'll continue to keep you updated, but right now, again, all those northbound lanes look like they are closed north of the Boone County line, so we'll continue to keep you updated if there are any changes for your commute. Well, we begin with the very latest data from the Indiana State Department of Health. So far, 1,621 people have died from COVID-19 in our state. That's an increase of 14 deaths between Friday and Monday. As for testing, state leaders say as testing increases, the positivity rate has been decreasing. Statewide, nearly 184,000 people have been tested. Of those, just more than 15% tested positive for the virus. Monday's report also showed an increase of 492 positive cases. The state also updated the impact on long-term care facilities. Total positive cases in nursing homes statewide is 3,625. That's an increase of 592 from last week, but that increase is 125 less than the week before. As for deaths, 732 people have died in nursing homes. That's an increase of 148 from the previous week. That increase is 16 fewer than last Monday's report. Indiana has reported its first case of multi-system inflammatory syndrome. The disease appears to be linked to COVID-19 and it infects children. The syndrome is similar to another illness called Kawasaki disease. Symptoms include a fever, rash, abdominal pain, vomiting, and swelling of the hands and feet. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Box is asking doctors and parents to be on alert.
This is something we're starting to see around the world, especially in New York City, which has reported greater than 150 cases in the United Kingdom, and now multiple states here in the United States. We've asked hospitals to report suspected cases to us as we can investigate and learn more about COVID-19 and how that may be impacting our younger people. We also need parents to watch for persistent fever in their children and contact their pediatrician if the child appears more seriously ill.
Right now, doctors say this syndrome is rare and most children recover. The pandemic is also impacting health and safety of children in a different way. Calls to the state's child abuse hotline are down 40% compared to April 2019. It's a problem WRTV first told you about back in March. The director of Indiana Department of Child Services, Terry Stigdon, says this does not mean fewer children are being harmed. She blames the drop on the fact that children are not in school and they're not being seen by teachers and other school employees who typically suspect abuse.
Because of this, we provided tips for teachers so they could help be on the lookout for signs of abuse and neglect when they connect with their students virtually. We have a collective responsibility to support families and keep children safe. We must come together to care for those in our communities who need us. Reach out to those who may be struggling. Offer to help. Small efforts, a bag of groceries, a kind word, can have big results.
If you suspect child abuse or neglect, you can report it by calling 1-800-800-5556. At 5:06 today, Indianapolis leaders will outline new measures aimed at helping Marion County businesses reopen safely when they're allowed to do so. As of right now, Marion County restaurants will be allowed to open this Friday, but only for outdoor dining. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with a plan that could let more places set up dining outside. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So if you look behind me here at Brew Burger, they have outdoor seating. So on Friday, when restaurants can open to outdoor seating, they'll be good to go. But just across the street on Mass Ave, World of Beer, they don't have outdoor seating. So what will they do? That's why the city is contemplating closing some busy streets to car traffic so these restaurants can put tables and chairs outside and serve customers in a new way. Indianapolis City County Councilor Zach Adamson says city leaders are exploring ideas to help restaurants bring in customers, allowing them to dine and stay socially distanced through outdoor seating. Adamson says a number of streets are being considered for closure, including Mass Ave from Delaware to College Avenue, the southern half of Monument Circle, Georgia Street from Illinois to Pennsylvania Street, Illinois Street from Georgia Street to Market, and Broad Ripple Avenue from the Monon Trail to College Avenue.
People are going to want to be outside, and as some of the restrictions are going to be relaxed a little bit, people are going to want to visit some of their favorite restaurants and things. And I think that this is the city's response to what we anticipate the public will have as an expectation.
Again, as of right now, Marion County restaurants will be allowed to open this Friday, but only for outdoor dining. This plan will allow more restaurants who don't already have outdoor seating to open. Now, that virtual news conference about reopening and possibly closing roads is today at 10:30. We'll, of course, have it live streaming for you on Facebook and on the RTV6 News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. Well, Mass Ave restaurant and shop owners are working together as they start to get back to business. Amanda Taflinger owns Homespun, which sells handmade crafts and accessories. Now that some restrictions are starting to ease up, Amanda is joining with other Mass Ave business owners on a new social media campaign. They want people to share the hashtag #IMissMassAve to support local businesses on that popular strip.
If people can remember to do things like post on social media and share their experiences with the small businesses on Mass Ave and anywhere else in the city, and write reviews, positive reviews about the businesses they love, like that really helps.
Well, for more information about the I Miss Mass Ave campaign, go to theindychannel.com and click on that story. It's 5:08. A local hospital is working to make sure that their personal protective equipment lasts as long as possible. Our Alyssa Donovan has the details on a disinfection process created by the staff at IU Health. Alyssa.
Well, IU Health has plenty of N95 masks right now. They wanted to find a way to make sure that that personal protective equipment can last as long as possible, especially now that the stay-at-home orders are being lifted.
You know, as the state is opening up, I mean, we're all kind of collectively holding our breath to see how having more people out and about, how that's going to impact our numbers at the hospital.
And having this disinfecting equipment in place is giving nurses and other hospital staff peace of mind in case there is another increase in COVID-19 patients.
IU Health has a very good supply of N95 masks, and this is just allowing us to be a little more proactive in making sure our supply is safeguarded.
These UV sterilizers were being used daily in patient rooms for cleaning. Dr. Nathan Alves, assistant professor of emergency medicine at IU School of Medicine, built this system with PVC pipes. Alves says hospitals across the country are using various techniques to disinfect and reprocess masks.
And it depends on where you are and what you have access to. We had access to these room sterilization towers already. They were purchased in response to some of the Ebola stuff a few years back.
The system is currently used to disinfect N95 masks for Methodist, Riley, and university hospitals.
So each nurse gets that and they put that up to their face and they form that to get a good fit. And she puts her name and the unit that she's working on. And then when she's done with that mask at the end of her shift, she puts it in a brown paper sack.
A sterile processing team then picks up the masks and puts them on the rack where the mask gets radiated for a half an hour. The mask is put in a white bag and returned to its unit. At this point, N95 masks are only being used for specific procedures, so the system is not used at capacity. If it was, it could sterilize 3,000 masks a day. The process allows one N95 mask to be worn up to 4 times by a hospital staff member. That's opposed to before, when they could only wear a mask once before it had to be thrown away. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Really interesting, Alyssa. Thank you. The BMV closed branches for nearly 2 months over COVID-19 concerns and restrictions. Well, 128 branches have now reopened, but the demand for transactions that can only be made at branches is intense. So here's what you need to know before you go. You must make an appointment. The bookings are currently being accepted through June 13th. You can make an appointment at any branch, not just the one closest to where you live. Branches are open 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. We have a list of services available and a link to the BMV scheduling site that's on the INDYchannel.com. The University of Notre Dame has announced plans to reopen in the fall. University President Reverend John Jenkins made the announcement Monday in letters to the campus community. Students will return to the South Bend campus in early August, with the fall semester ending before Thanksgiving. The school's reopening plan also includes comprehensive testing for COVID-19, contact tracing, quarantine and isolation protocols, social distancing, and mask requirements will also be in place. There is no mention of sports. Right now, Notre Dame is scheduled to open its football season against Navy in Ireland on August 29th. The time right now is 5:12. It's Tuesday. Let's check in with Todd Clausen and see what we can expect as we head out the door today. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, Lauren, some spotty showers in the forecast here for the day today, but they're not as heavy as yesterday. That is the good news. And as we work our way throughout the day today, we're actually going to see more in the way of rain as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours. So that's when the rain's going to become a little more widespread compared to this morning. And this morning, you can see some of these showers making their way into the area. There's some in and around the metro area as you work your way from Indy north towards Tipton, through Hamilton County, a few spotty showers near Terre Haute as well. But we'll start to bring in some of that more widespread rain you see in Ohio. It's kind of backing in, a little unusual. Most of our weather comes from west to east. Today, that rain will move in from east and push westward. Temperatures with the clouds and showers, a little below normal, but not terrible. Lauren, as we'll see, highs anywhere from about 65 to 70 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. President Trump says he's been taking hydroxychloroquine for weeks to protect himself against the coronavirus. Straight ahead, why he's continuing to tout the controversial drug. And they've been trained to detect cancer, Parkinson's, even malaria. Now researchers in the UK are hoping to use their skills to fight against COVID-19. Coming up, we'll have more details on the disease-sniffing dogs just after the break.
Tonight on ABC.
President Donald Trump says he's been taking the medication hydroxychloroquine for weeks. This despite medical experts in the FDA warning of potential harmful side effects. White House doctor, Navy Commander Sean Conley issued a statement saying that he discussed the pros and cons of the drug with the president, and they decided together the benefits outweigh the risks. Conley also alluded to the president's personal valet testing positive for COVID-19 2 weeks ago, but did not specify that that's the reason Trump started taking the drug. Researchers in the UK are looking into whether dogs can sniff out the coronavirus early before symptoms appear. The dogs have already been trained to detect diseases like prostate cancer, Parkinson's, and malaria. So how does this work? Well, the dogs are presented with urine samples and rewarded when they identify the correct one. For COVID-19, researchers will collect face masks and nylon socks to get people's odors. If the training is successful, one of their first deployments will likely be airports, where dogs are already used to sniff out drugs and other contraband. Very interesting. All right, it is 5:17. Todd, nothing like going to the airport and a dog telling you you have COVID-19 when you're getting ready to board a flight, I bet.
All right. You know, a lot of times when you travel internationally and you come back and you're going through customs, they're sniffing there for fruits and vegetables, and then they sit down and they find an orange and a banana. But, hey, you don't think about COVID-19. It'll be interesting. All right, behind me here you see our graph with rain chances, and you see the red for today. Our rain chances are pretty high, and then as we work our way going forward throughout the remainder of the week, our rain chances will start to diminish. And we've been talking about this area of low pressure spinning away across the Great Lakes now really since the day on Sunday. Yesterday we were in the heavy rainfall. This morning we are dealing with just some light rain. And I just went and looked outside, and in Marion County there is a light rain falling outside of my house. You notice the rain stretching from Marion County in the metro area up into Carmel, Noblesville, through Cicero and Morse Reservoir, and then even into the Tipton area. Some light showers will slide a little bit further off towards the north, even up towards Kokomo, some light rain, and then into Lebanon as well. So there are some showers out there, and one there just north of Morristown as well. But the showers will become more numerous as the day goes on. And you notice the direction that these showers are moving. A little unusual for us. Most of the time our weather moves from west to east. Today it's kind of backing in from an opposite direction. And so what you see in Ohio is going to try to make its way into our area around this area of low pressure. And the moisture source extends all the way down into the southeast. So there's quite a bit of rainfall potentially heading our way. Overall, throughout the entire day and in all time frames, the rain is going to be the heaviest on the eastern side of the state. But there will be some heavier rain pinwheeling towards the metro area at times throughout the day. And it just becomes a little more widespread throughout the afternoon and evening compared to this morning. There are some rain chances, obviously, that we just showed you on Storm Team 6 radar this morning. The showers just become more numerous later today. Temperatures currently hovering in the upper 50s. We won't really do a whole lot with the rain showers today in place, as highs will only get up to right around 65 degrees. And then for the day tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies, highs in the low 60s. So it's a drier day for us. It's just not a bright day, as the clouds really will linger across the area. The warmer weather, though, works in by Friday, and then the weekend right on cue for the unofficial start of summer. Summer-like temperatures in place. 81 on Saturday, 85 on Sunday, and also on Monday for Memorial Day itself. With the warmth will come about a 30% chance of storms, though, each day.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic. We've been monitoring that overturned semi on northbound lanes of I-65 north of US 52, and we do want to keep you updated. Looks like you still will want to avoid that area. The semi is actually north of State Road 47, so you'll want to get on US 52, take that alongside the interstate, and reconnect with the northbound lanes around State Road 28. That'll help you to avoid any crash cleanup or that may be in that area. We'll continue to keep you updated. It looks like things are still moving here in Lebanon at US 52, so that is good news if you're heading out the door at this hour. Well, thermometers, they're hard to come by these days, and it could get worse. That's according to the thermometer manufacturers and distributors. They say the devices were already in high demand earlier this year when healthcare providers started ordering more to scan for COVID-19 patients. But now companies who require temperature checks are also buying these devices in mass bundles. One of the nation's largest thermometer manufacturers says demand is up 900% for his company's non-contact thermometers. Multiple medical suppliers say that the added customers have put a strain on the thermometer supply chain because they simply can't make enough right now. A New Jersey high school is doing its best to make sure that no graduate feels left out. Coming up, the creative way they're making sure that every senior has a chance to walk across the commencement stage. We'll be right back. From car parades to doing it in your own driveway, celebrating the class of 2020 has brought out endless creativity in the era of COVID-19. And for one New Jersey high school, it's doing the most to make sure that no graduate feels shortchanged. Deptford High School is holding not one but several mini ceremonies, 125 to be exact. You can actually call it a graduation marathon. With 250 graduates on deck, ceremonies will take place over 4.5 days, with 4 happening every hour nonstop.
It's obviously not the real thing where the kids all sit together on the field and they throw their caps in the air, which is also, it's a great thing. It's not that, but I think we all feel it's the best that we can do. They deserve to hear their name called. They deserve to come up in a cap and gown.
Wow, well, students will eventually be able to watch the whole graduation experience online as a live streaming event on June 17th. The school says the mini graduation marathon is a trend that's happening at a number of schools across the Garden State. All right, Todd, we'll have to check in with your mom up there in Jersey and see how those all go. That's pretty interesting.
All right, yeah, I'll ask my mom or my sister. I know the school I graduated from, which was a smaller school. The principals, they went around to every high school senior and dropped off a sign and the cap and gown for them at their house. So everybody's doing something a little bit different, which is nice given the times, Lauren. All right, outside right now, we are dealing with some scattered showers moving through across parts of central Indiana. Everything's very, very light right now, but we're going to expect the showers to become a little more widespread for us as we work our way into the afternoon hours. As some of that heavier rainfall from Cincinnati and Dayton starts to make its way into our area. The good news is the National Weather Service has dropped the flash flood watch, though, so we're not anticipating any flooding rains, but still a pretty damp day, and the wettest day we have this week remaining is going to be today with a high around 66 degrees. We'll talk more about the forecast I think you're going to like as we head into the weekend coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 5:27.
Make a donation or volunteer today.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Outdoor dining in Marion County will open to customers on Friday. We're live this morning breaking down the plans city leaders have to help businesses reopen safely. Plus, the use of masks during the COVID-19 outbreak is putting pressure on the supply chain, making them hard to get. Now at 5:30, we're looking at the process one local hospital is using to disinfect those masks. But first, here at 5:30, we want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by from home with a check of our forecast on this Tuesday. And Todd, I think everyone's hoping we can dry out a little bit, but you still are monitoring some rain in the forecast.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely going to be the wettest day that we have remaining this week, Lauren. Yesterday, we had the heavy rainfall. Today, it's more generally widespread and lighter, so that's the difference. And that flash flood watch that we talked about yesterday has now been dropped by the National Weather Service, so that is good news. Here's a current look at Storm Team 6 radar, and you can see the heaviest of the rain and the brightest color on there is in Dayton as well as Cincinnati, and we'll inherit some of that rainfall here going forward. But currently, what we're dealing with is just some light rain from Lebanon to Frankfort to Sheridan over to Noblesville and up into the Tipton area. We had some light rain move through downtown Indianapolis earlier this morning as well. But you can see the direction that this rain is moving. It's actually backing into the state from Ohio. So throughout the day today, the showers become more numerous. They also become a little heavier, I think, this afternoon. And with the clouds and the showers around, temperatures don't do a whole lot. We're hovering right around 60 degrees right now. We'll go up maybe another 5-6 degrees throughout the afternoon hours today. To highs, it'll be right around 65 to 68 degrees.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look right now from our INDOT traffic camera. This is up in the Boone County area, Lebanon, I-65, a view near US 52. You can see some flashing lights on our screen. Right now, up near State Road 47, we are monitoring the northbound lanes of I-65 closed for an overturned semi. So if you're traveling northbound on I-65 in this area, I would get off at US 52 here, continue taking US 52 northbound, and then when you get to State Road 28, you can head back westbound and reconnect with the northbound lanes of I-65. We'll continue to monitor that cleanup process and let you know when lanes are back open this morning, but right now it's still looking like everything's closed. You'll also need to avoid Michigan Road in that area because there's construction closing the lane. So I think US 52 is your best bet for a detour this morning. We are continuing to follow the very latest on how the coronavirus is impacting our state. The Indiana State Department of Health is reporting 492 new positive cases and 14 new deaths. That brings the total number of cases to 28,255. Now 1,621 Hoosiers have died from the virus so far. Nearly 184,000 people have been tested, with about 15.4% of those tests coming back positive. The state says 39.5% of Indiana's intensive care unit beds are still available. That's actually up from 38% reported on Sunday. About 16% of the beds in use are being used by COVID patients. And more than 80% of the state's ventilators are still available. Today, Indianapolis leaders will outline new measures aimed at helping Marion County businesses reopen safely when they're allowed to do so. As of right now, Marion County restaurants will be allowed to open this Friday, but only for outdoor dining. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with a plan that could let more places set up outside dining. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So we're here on Mass Ave, and here at Brewburger, they obviously have an outdoor patio, and this will allow them to open up on Friday. But just across the street and all up and down Mass Ave, there are restaurants like World of Beer with no tables and chairs outside, meaning at the current rate, they would not be able to open on Friday. And that is why the city is now discussing a plan to possibly close several roads across the city. That way, these restaurants can put tables and chairs outside. Indianapolis City County Councilor Zach Adamson says city leaders are exploring ideas to help restaurants bring in customers, allowing them to dine and stay socially distanced through outdoor seating. Adamson says a number of streets are being considered for closure, including Mass Ave from Delaware to College Avenue, the southern half of Monument Circle, Georgia Street from Illinois to Pennsylvania Street, Illinois Street from Georgia Street to Market, and Broad Ripple Avenue from the Monon Trail to College Avenue.
This is an ongoing process. The city is just trying to really react as quickly as we can to address some of the need that we have in these main commercial corridors, restaurants especially.
Again, as of right now, Marion County restaurants will be allowed to open this Friday, but only for outdoor dining. And again, this plan will allow more restaurants who don't already have outdoor seating to open. Now, that virtual news conference today with Mayor Hogsett is at 10:30, and we'll, of course, have it live streamed for you on Facebook and on the RTV6 News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
All right, Kelsey, thank you. As America continues to move towards its pre-pandemic life, researchers are making progress on a vaccine. President Trump says he's been taking a controversial drug for the past week to prevent the virus, and ABC's Alex Perche has more now from Washington.
President Trump making a surprise announcement.
I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine. Right now, yeah.
The president saying he's been taking the drug used to treat malaria as a protective treatment for coronavirus.
A couple of weeks ago, I started taking it. Because I think it's good. I've heard a lot of good stories.
For some 2 months, the president has been promoting hydroxychloroquine as a treatment for the virus. The president saying he asked the White House doctor if he could take it, even though he says he does not have the virus or any symptoms. But just last month, the FDA warned against using it for COVID-19 outside of hospitals or clinical trials because it could cause heart problems. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi voicing concern on CNN.
He's our president, and I would rather he not be taking something that has not been approved by the scientists, especially in his age group and in his, shall we say, weight group, what is morbidly obese, they say. So I think it's not a good idea.
Meanwhile, a potential breakthrough on the vaccine front. Moderna Labs, an American company working on a vaccine, says all 45 of their test patients are producing antibodies that fight the disease.
To have one small role in just getting beyond this pandemic is an amazing opportunity.
Norman Hume of Atlanta is one of them. He received his second dose of the vaccine Monday. In the early results, the 45 patients developed the same level of antibodies as someone who's recovered from COVID-19. The vaccine will have to pass more phases of testing, and if the results continue to prove positive, Moderna hopes the drug can be ready by the end of the year. And now even more states are reopening. More than 130,000 auto workers were back on the job Monday, the first time in 8 weeks. By Wednesday, Connecticut will begin to reopen, meaning that all 50 states will have eased restrictions. Cases still rising in at least 10 of them. At least another 24 have hit a plateau. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
Well, a local hospital is working to make sure that their personal protective equipment lasts as long as possible. Our Alyssa Donovan has the details on a disinfection process created by the staff at IU Health.
The system created by IU Health staff is making a safer environment for both hospital workers and their patients. It's also making personal protective equipment last longer. These UV sterilizers were already on hand at IU Health. They were purchased a few years ago in response to the Ebola virus. Now they're being used to disinfect N95 masks. Dr. Nathan Alves used PVC pipes to hang the masks on. He also performed extensive testing to ensure the right amount of radiation was being used to properly remove bacteria from the masks. Now each one can be worn up to 4 times by a hospital staff member. The process is key in being able to reuse the personal protective equipment.
So it's necessary because once the mask is used for like an aerosolizing procedure or a known COVID positive patient, you have COVID on the outside of it. And so when you have it on the outside of it, you don't want to have secondary contamination.
Right now, N95 masks are only being used for specific procedures, so the system is not used at capacity. If it was, it could sterilize 3,000 masks a day. IU Health has plenty of N95 masks right now. They say this system just allows them to ensure that their supplies will last as long as possible. I'm Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The emotional toll of the coronavirus pandemic is different for everyone. The Rebound Indiana is our mission to make sure that you and your family can get the help you need. Like many parents, Kayla Swenson is trying to balance working from home with having kids cooped up in the house. She's a mom to a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. Usually Kayla attends a mom's group at IU Health for support through in-person meetings, but they found a way to continue through virtual sessions. Group leader Cindy Love says many people need support now more than ever.
That added stress is something that none of us have had to deal with in the past. And that social isolation, I think, is the biggest problem that most moms are feeling. When you wake up, a lot of people are saying it's like Groundhog Day. You know, you wake up and every day looks the same.
When she said that they were going to do virtual, I was really excited because it brought back an element of normal back into our lives.
Well, you can find more on these resources in this story. It's at the INDYchannel.com and also on the RTV6 app. The pandemic has caused some Indiana fairs to cancel their events or find alternatives. Bartholomew County says they're going to try and take their 4-H fair online. This event is scheduled for July 10th, and it will be a virtual fair for all 4-H participants. The organizers say that they are concerned that having the fair as planned would jeopardize the health of 4-H members and volunteers. They also said it would be difficult to meet safety guidelines, including temperature checks and tracking. All right, it is 5:40. It is Takeout Tuesday. Todd, what do you have for us?
All right, Lauren, we have multiple locations for you here. You know, Takeout Tuesday's kind of morphing a little bit with some restaurants starting to open once you get outside of Marion County. And today we are highlighting Fat Dan's Deli. They have 2 locations in Indy, one on Mass Ave and another one on College Avenue. There's a location up in Carmel, another one in Bloomington. Of course, the Carmel one is already open with some outdoor seating. The Mass Ave and College and Bloomington ones still doing carry out, but in the process of starting to get some of their patios ready. My top takes: can't beat the wings there. The Chicago combo, it's a half sausage, half Italian beef. Any burger's good, and the smoked Reuben, one of my favorites as well. As far as the forecast for today on this Takeout Tuesday, rain showers off and on through most of the day with high temperatures, Lauren, that'll be topping off in the mid-60s.
All right, Todd, thank you. Metro Police are investigating a deadly shooting on the city's west side. Straight ahead, the very latest on that investigation. And the Indiana Supreme Court has responded to Governor Eric Holcomb's request for clarification regarding Curtis Hill's suspension. Their decision and what it means for the Attorney General's office here coming up. We'll be right back. New from overnight, one person is dead, another hospitalized after a shooting on Indy's west side. It happened at the intersection of West St. Clair Street and Belmont before 10 p.m. When they arrived, officers found a man on the street with gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A second victim was taken to the hospital and is in stable condition. Police are working to find out what led to the shooting. No suspect information has been released at this time. The Indiana Supreme Court is denying a request for clarification of its decision to suspend Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill. The 30-day suspension of Hill's law license is now in effect over allegations of sexual misconduct involving a state lawmaker and 3 other women. The court said it would be inappropriate for it to respond to Governor Eric Holcomb's request for clarification regarding the suspension. Holcomb filed legal papers asking the court if Hill was automatically disqualified from holding the office once the suspension took effect, and if Hill could still practice law. The court said the questions Holcomb asked were outside of the scope of the court's disciplinary decision. Hill named his chief deputy as his temporary replacement. Hill has denied the allegations, and he was not charged. The time right now is 5:46 here on our Tuesday. Let's get a look at our forecast right now. Todd Clausen is standing by from home. And Todd, what can people expect as they head out the door this morning?
You know, we have some showers that are out there once again, Lauren. They're not as heavy as they were yesterday. That is the good news. And as we go forward in this forecast, we are going to start to build in some summer-like warmth. That is the good news. But to get that warmth in here, we have to get rid of this stubborn low that's been bringing us the rain really since Sunday. And we're still dealing with some spotty showers here across the area. They've now moved from the Anderson area here into Tipton, as well as just north of Noblesville through Lebanon, over towards Darlington, and down into Brownsburg, as we gave you a little bit of a tour off to the east here. A few spot showers near Lawrence, as well as the Geist area. And as we continue to expand out, we'll show you the big picture and what's going to happen going forward throughout the day. So throughout the overnight hours, Anna, this morning, it's just been some light spotty showers. But in the last few frames of this 3-hour satellite radar loop, you notice that this batch of heavier rainfall here across Ohio is starting to advance here towards central Indiana. So this is going to start to move in from east to west across the area. And so as we go throughout the morning hours and into the afternoon, the coverage of the rain is going to become greater across the area. And so the showers will become a little more numerous. I think we'll avoid the real heavy rainfall, and I think we'll avoid most of the thunderstorm action. But what we have going on is the area of low pressure is now centered just down to our south, and around this area of low pressure we have counterclockwise flow. So everything is rotating from west or east to west across the area as this low starts to slide further and further down to the south. And TrueCast shows you how it pinwheels in here in that direction. 9:30, the showers becoming a little more widespread as we work our way into the afternoon hours. Scattered showers off and on throughout the day, and no heavy rainfall. Again, that's the good news, but I would encourage you probably to have the umbrella throughout most of the day if you are going to be out and about. The further west you are and the further north, the lower your rainfall totals. Just a couple hundredths to a tenth of an inch. We could see about half an inch of rain in the metro area to maybe up to an inch in spots on the far eastern portion of the state. But the National Weather Service again has dropped that flash flood watch that was in place yesterday. Temperatures in the 50s right now. Today we're going into the mid 60s for afternoon high, so it's a little bit below normal, but not a terrible day for us by any means. And as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, you notice a lot going on. It's still a little cool and cloudy tomorrow at 64 degrees. Spot storms on Thursday, 67, but then the big warm-up heads our way. We're into the 80s, in fact, mid-80s for Sunday and Memorial Day itself, Lauren, with the chance of some spotty storms, but going to be very summer-like here, right on cue. They always said Memorial Day is the unofficial start of summer. It's coming a little earlier this year in the month of May than it did last year, but nonetheless, 85 degrees. Will feel pretty nice out there once we get to the weekend.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic for your Tuesday. We've been showing you this camera here at I-65 in Boone County. This is up in the Lebanon area, a view near US 52. And if you look down at your screen, you can see that we do have flashing lights there. We do have a semi overturned north of this spot, the semi overturned near State Road 47. So if you're traveling in this area, you'll want to avoid the northbound lanes of I-65. You can get off at US 52 and take that northbound. It runs alongside the interstate, so it shouldn't slow down your commute too much this morning. Once you get to a little north of that area, State Road 28, you can take that back over westbound and reconnect with the northbound lanes of I-65. No reports of any injuries here, but again, we still have reports that all lanes are blocked. This is an area we'll continue to monitor, and we'll let you know when everything is back open. More Uber employees are going to lose their jobs. The rideshare company announcing on Monday that it's cutting another 3,000 employees. These latest cuts come just 2 weeks after the company announced plans to cut 3,700 full-time jobs. Uber says it's closing or consolidating around 45 offices around the world. All of this, of course, comes from reduced demand for rides with so many people staying home during the pandemic. And since the pandemic hit, many people have had to exercise outside or in their homes, not in gyms or fitness centers. So just ahead this morning, the services the YMCA is offering that could help motivate you a little bit at home. We'll be right back.
Weeknights at 5:30.
Welcome back. So you may find it difficult to stay active during the stay-at-home order, especially with gyms and fitness centers closed. But this morning, our Brad Brown shows us how one major facility is staying open online.
For every piece of pizza, there's some push-ups. For every burger, there's some burpees. And for every shake, there's a shuffle.
15 seconds.
Working out in your living room is only weird if you think it is, but the trainers at the INDY YMCA have put together several online programs to help keep your mind and body healthy during these difficult times.
We're still a community, even though our building's closed. We're still providing and pushing forward with our mission and keeping us all together.
On any given day, thousands of people come through the doors of the branches of the Greater Indianapolis YMCA. For 2 months now, those gyms have been empty, but the Y remains committed to serving its members.
We really wanted to get as much content out there for the really broad spectrum of members and community members that we serve in order to try and keep people as connected with each other, but also well during this time as we could.
Now, the INDY has created an online portal with a wide variety of services, from cardio and strength training.
Let's go, same weight.
Take it to a level that best fits you today.
To yoga and Pilates. The Y staff has something for every fitness level.
The overall intent was still to serve our community and our members in the best way we could, but we had to get really broad in making sure that we were serving a whole lot of needs for a much longer period of time.
And beyond the workouts, there are wellness programs and healthy cooking tips. Activities for kids as well. Going all in online with the Y's mission of serving mind, body, and spirit.
One team, one goal, so we're all in it together. As you know, with the STT, our small group training, we're all complaining at the same time. We're all sweating, and instructors are there with you, even though it's not in person, but we're still, forming that team.
Whether you're in small group training or you're just a member of our community, we're all in this together. And so we've really tried to sort of focus on that philosophy at the Y and really being there for our community and our members as best we can.
Working for you, Brad Brown, RTV6.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Great advice there. And hopefully we just get some better weather in here in the future to be able to take your workouts outside, whether it's a fitness class like that you're just doing in your backyard, or if you're riding your bike or just going for a walk or a run. This morning we're dealing with rain showers, as you see on Storm Team 6 radar in the center of your screen. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Most of the rain is light and scattered right now. It becomes a little more widespread throughout the afternoon hours. It's also a little heavier this afternoon, but I do think we avoid the thunderstorm action, so that is good news, Lauren, as high temperatures today will eventually be topping off in the mid-60s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. The Johnson County Jail has more than 100 inmates with COVID-19. Coming up in the next hour, we'll show you the new machine jail leaders are adding to help combat the virus. We'll be right back.